It's Storytime Tea, that's me, and today I'm here to tell you a story about a time that I dated somebody that was in a special religious group. Okay? I'm phrasing it like that because that's how I'm going to phrase it. So, let me set the scene. At this time, I was out of college. So, I'm a baby adult. But I wasn't an adult yet. Like, I'm not like 25 or nothing like that. I was like, I was still little. And at this point in time, it's during the time span of another story that I had told in the past, but it's neither here nor there. I'm dating a couple people. I think I was dating like 3 people. Okay? And I happened upon this guy, right? I'm at the bookstore. Okay, it wasn't Barnes and Nobles or nothing like that. It was like some random little store that I found. Somebody was just like, "Oh, I got this book from this place. They got a lot of cool, cheap books there. You could go there." And I was like, oh, "I love a book that I don't gotta pay a bunch of money for." Okay, so I went there, and it was like a hot summer day. So y'all know I got on a dress. I had me a dress on, and it was long though, because y'all already know how I be. I like long dresses. So I'm in there with my little sandals on. Everybody's staring at me in the stove. I'm just like, okay, y'all. Y'all have all seen a black woman before. You don't gotta look at me like that. So obviously, since everybody's already looking at me, I'm not paying attention to nobody. And then I noticed that this guy went down the same aisle as me twice. But like, obviously, I'm not paying attention to anybody because everybody's paying attention to me. And if you make eye contact for too long, then everybody think you're trying to talk to them. So I don't want to accidentally flirt with anybody. I'm just like, let me look at this book. Ooh, a murder mystery that looks like a black lady wrote it. This seems great. Let me look at this real quick, see if I want to. And so as I'm looking at the back of this book, this little man gonna come up to me and say, "Oh, I read that book. It's really good." I'm like, first of all, I knew he didn't read this book. But let's just say he read the book. Let's just say he read the book. And so I'm just like, oh, for real? I'm just like, do you like this author? Do you know her? This your buddy? Because whenever somebody like a book, I'm just like, is it the author and you like the way the author write? Or is this book in particular and you don't know nothing about this person? And so then he was chatting me up for like 10 whole minutes about this lady. But like, I only let it go that far because I was looking at his little smile and he seemed so excited about this book. He's like, that's like one of my top books ever. It's like one of my 3 favorite books. Da, da, da. He's like, oh, it's so great. And I love her and all her work and da, 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 da. And I'm just like, okay. Seeing black men just happy about stuff brings a light to my heart. I'm like, look at you. Black boy joy. And so I was just looking at him and just let him go ahead and tell his little thing. And I was just like, I was already about to get the book because I done read 100 murder mysteries by a little white lady. So I'm just like, might as well just, this one little lady here. I ain't never seen her before. I'm gonna just go ahead and I'm gonna rock with her. And so I was getting the book before he said anything, but I was like, yeah, okay, I'm really gonna get this book. And so then he was just like, yeah, nobody ever really reads murder mysteries, and I just love them. And I was just like, me too, I love murder mysteries. And so now I'm yapping. It went from him yapping to me yapping. And I'm just like, you know what? I need to get out of this store. Because I'm about to start dating a new person, and I'm not trying to date no new person. I have 2. I already have me a baby boy and a baby girl. I don't need more things. I have enough things. And so he's just like, oh yeah, you know what? You should take my number. Da 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 da. And I'm just like, oh snap, he tricked me. And then I was just like, all right, I'm gonna take the number. And so I started taking the number, and then he got his phone out, and then I seen his lock screen, and then I was sold. I was like, all right, I want to talk to this guy. I want to talk to this guy. His lock screen was some food that he made, and it looked like it was busting. That was some juicy looking chicken thighs, y'all. Y'all ain't never seen. All right, I'm not even going to explain the chicken thighs, but yes, the food on his screen was like this thing that I learned how to cook when I was in school called like chicken rossel or something. Probably pronounced that wrong. I don't even want to tell y'all where it's from, because then y'all gonna be like, girl, that is not where that's from. But I low-key think, low-key, that is an Indian thing. Don't remember. I just know it's called chicken rasel, and it be bussin'. And so that's what he had on there. And I was like, oh my gosh. Now I want to make that tonight. You know what? I'm going to make that tonight. And he was like, yes, I made it like 2 weeks ago. It was so good. I followed this little recipe or whatever. I got my recipe. Don't need your recipe. But love that for us. And I was just like, cool. I'm talking to you. I'm going to text you now. I'm going to text you. Cool. We're friends. We're buddies. Let's see. And so after that, I went on about my day, okay? I got my little book. I came in there, and when I was in there, I didn't find much nothing other than the one book that I saw. So I got that little book, and I left because I wasn't going to linger if I just got this man's number. I wasn't going to linger. And I didn't want him to feel like he needed to leave the store, because I already had somewhere to go, so I'm not going to make him leave the store. Or we just be looking at each other through the aisles like the whole time. I was like, that's going to be mad extra. I'm just going to go, and I'm going to get on out of here. And so, but my little book. The book was only like $5. I was like, look at me. And I left with my little book. So then I think like 2 days passed, because the rest of my day ended up being crazy. And I was just like, not about to text him. I think like 2 days passed, maybe one day, don't really remember. And then I was just like, oh, hey, how are you? And he was just like, it's you. And I'm like, yes. And then he like said my name and everything. Cause like I be telling people my actual name, because this is my name and I love my name. And my mommy and my daddy gave me this name. And I was a love child and they made me out of love. And so I be like, my name is this. I'm named after my pet. Like, I don't care. So yeah, we was talking and I was just like, yeah, you could call me my regular name. That's cool. Like, I don't really do the Tish. The Tish thing makes me mad. Because why you shorten my name that much? But he asked just to be sure, and I'm just like, don't call me that. And so yeah, we having our little conversation. Our conversation is cool. We're just talking about regular stuff. He asking me like, did I start reading the book yet? Da da da. Like, did I actually cook the food? Da da da. The answer is yes and yes. And so we just talked about that and everything, and then like about like the areas we live in, trying to see if we like relatively close to each other. Cause like where we were at was like somewhere that you could go, but it's like in the middle of everything. So yeah. Basically, we were just chatting all night. Not too much. Not like, oh, I'm in love on the first text type of thing. It's just like, we just was vibing. We was vibing, y'all. It was a good time. And so I had a date with somebody else that day. So once he started slowing up in the text, I just went on my date and I was like, and so then I texted him the next day. I'm like, what's up? What book did you end up buying? Da, 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 da. We're just talking. We're chatting. Then he told me about this crazy book. It's about like a story that ended up being a doc or something like that. And he was just telling me about that. I was like, oh, cool. We chatting. Then he just started telling me like more stories about more docs and stuff that he's watched. And it's like becoming a pattern. It's becoming a pattern. Like the topics are becoming a pattern. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Like I just let people read whatever they're gonna read, but it's like certain books and certain things. It's just like, baby, why are you reading it? but I let people do that thing. I let people do that thing because it's just like reading, just like music is like an outlet. You know, art is an outlet. Da da da. Let people get their stuff off and do their thing. So I was just like, all right, you know, not a red flag. Orange though. It's orange. And so we move. Me and him we were talking and everything. I told him that I was dating this boy and this girl. He didn't say anything about me saying I'm dating this boy, this girl, okay? Usually people be like, oh, this girl? You dating this girl? Or they're one of them people that's just like, why you dating people? I thought I was the only one out here. And so it's like, usually that's the two reactions that I get. And so I just was trying to let him know. And he was just like, oh, okay, cool. You like girls? Well, you know, that's neat. And I'm just like, okay. And so we just continue to talk about different topics or whatever. And then eventually we get on the topic of religion, all right? And so I never know quite how this conversation is going to go because everybody is different, okay? But I can tell y'all, I've dated somebody that was Muslim. I dated somebody that was Christian, somebody that was Catholic. You know, I kind of, you know, I done dated a lot of different religious types of people, okay? Like, you know? And some religions, that names I cannot say. And his religion is one of those names that I'm not going to say because I'm ready to slash him right now. The rest of this video is just about to be about me telling y'all how he was nuts, okay? So I don't want to say nothing about this religion because it got a special little name and they not coming to my house, okay? So boom. Basically, he was just telling me about his religion, okay? Just like a broad band of it, because he knew I didn't know what this religion was. Like, you know, I know about 5 religions. That's it. We got Hinduism. Like, I don't got that much because, and I feel like in America, you know, most people are just like Muslim or Christian, and then, you know, you got a couple people that are the other things. You know, we got a lot of Jewish people. Cool. I know the broadband religions. I don't know any of the tiny ones that's inside the bigger brand of religions. And I also don't know the kind that he's a part of. And we're going to say it's a religion. Was it a religion? I don't know. So, yeah, he was just telling me about his little religion. Well, I don't want to say little because people might think, you know, but I call everything little. So, you know, he was telling me about it and he was just like, yeah, it's not that many people. He's like, there's 20 people in my church. And I'm like, I've been to small churches before. Like, my grandmother had like a kind of regular sized church. And then one of my aunts had like a smaller church. And then my other aunt had a big church. So like, I know like smaller churches, you know, more intimate churches. And I was just like, oh, that's cool, you know, you got like an intimate setting. That means everybody at the church, you know, y'all like a family for real. And then he told me that like he didn't have like regular mother and father. I think he was like adopted by a single mother or something like that. And so I'm just like, oh, okay, that makes sense. If she by herself and she don't have a family and everything like that, y'all found this church and y'all got into that, I was like, make perfect sense. But the way he told me he was adopted and the way that he was adopted, 2 different things, okay? So I continue to talk to him, you know, day after day. And he's telling me different things. And then things are not adding up quite. And I'm nosy. Y'all know I'm nosy. So I'm just asking the questions that need to be asked. I'm just like, oh, okay, what year were you born? Oh, when was your mom born? Oh, why was she a single mother trying to get a kid? So she just wanted to raise a baby by herself? Where did she get you from exactly? Are you native to this land? Like, I'm just asking the regular questions because I'm nosy. And so he's just like, yeah, you know, so the whole thing about it is I was given to her from the church. Like the church gave me to her. I'm like, how did the church get you? And he was just like, well, you know, after a few times of, because I really don't want to say it like that. He was like, after she couldn't have a baby on her own, which he definitely means on her own. Not like, oh, I tried to get like sperm put into me by the doctors or anything. She believed that she could have a baby with no sperm, no man. She could just do it by herself. That's just a whole nother thing that I'm not about to talk about. So he was like, after she said she couldn't have a baby on her own, she went to all these different places trying to get to know more about the body and why she couldn't have a baby on her own. And then the leader of their church so happened upon her crying in a park or something. This is the story, y'all. This is me telling the story that he told me, okay? And so she was in the park crying or something. His religious leader came and saw her and was just like, I can give you a baby, okay? And so she went to the church. They prayed over her womb in a circle with candles around her and some other things. There was a goat and some other stuff. It didn't exactly work the way that they thought, but somebody else that was at the circle performing the thing, she got pregnant, like literally found out she was pregnant like 3 days after that whole thing happened. And they were just like, oh, this is your baby. So another person in the church gave birth to him. And when he was born, they gave him to the lady. So then that's his mommy. Okay? So I'm just like, oh, in the circle of the candles Was there perhaps salt on the ground or something? I don't know. But it seems a little crazy. And what building was this practice had? Was it outside in beautiful nature or something? And, and a bunch of lights and beautiful flowers and stuff? Or was it done in the dark in a dim room with a little leak in the ceiling with some salt or something around her? What exactly happened when they did this little ritual to help her be able to have a baby without a man's sperm? You let me know. Tell me, how did it happen? And so he was just like, well, yeah, I don't know all the details, but yeah, that's what happened. And so one of the other church women had me and then gave me to my mommy. And I'm like, okay, I'm nosy, so I have to keep up with this. I was just like, yo, at this point, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to find out some more. And so he's just like, yeah, but everybody's birthing story is different. I'm like, well, yeah, I was born at Mercy. I was downtown being born out of my mom's canal. My auntie was there. Everybody, but everybody's born different, So I just let him live. I let him rock. I'm like, cool. You were born in a little circle with the flames around you and all that good stuff, and there was a goat. Cool. So we move. Then I feel like 3 days later, some more stuff. He's just like, oh, I have to go to church. The church wasn't like on Sunday. I didn't expect it to be because he's not Christian or anything like that. He's not like the standard Christian. He's something else. So like the church was on Friday. I said, all right, okay, cool. And so he's like, yeah, every Friday, me and everybody in my church, we get together. I'm like, okay, cool. What do y'all do when y'all get together? I'm like, pray, perhaps? He's just like, well, yes, we voice the things that we want out loud, one at a time, in a circle, because they love circles. And, we do this in the dark so that we can be heard and not seen. Okay. And so I'm like, bet. And he was just like, yes, so that nobody will be judged for what they ask for, what they want, or how they feel. They will just be heard. And I'm just like, it's only about 20 of y'all. Y'all know each other's voices. So who are y'all like? Are y'all saying it to each other, or y'all saying it to the higher power that you believe in? What is it? And he was just like, it's just what we do every Friday. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, you're not going to verify or clarify anything. It's just, that's what y'all do. And that's what y'all been doing. For how many years? He's just like, yeah, the church has been around for, I don't know. He might have said 800 years, or he said hundreds of years. Cannot remember. This was a baby ago. And so I was just like, all right, cool. That's what y'all just been doing. And so, all right, cool. And so then I asked him again, what's the official name of your little joint? Because I was like, I'm about to look this up now because it's getting a little bit too wild for me. He's just like, oh yeah, he told me the name. I might have typed it in wrong because I didn't get anything on the Googles. And Googles be having everything, okay? And so I'm just like, oh, okay. And he was just like, yeah. And then after we say all of that, then we get together and we hold hands and we do our little hum. I said, okay. And what it seemed like, I don't know, what it seemed like was like there was a ritual, like a, I don't want to say that type of ritual, but it was seeming like with all the things he was saying to follow that's what that was. And then they eat, okay? And when they eat, they also drink a special liquid that is a little thicker than others, a little redder than others, might perhaps come from a lamb or a goat. It's not human. It may come from a lamb or a goat. He is not sure where it comes from. He just knows that he drinks it. And I'm just like, you are willingly telling me this information. I didn't even ask about this. I didn't ask about this part, I was just vibing, and I was just like, baby, you are in a CULT? That's what is you in a, I think, do you know that that's what you in? Because I don't think you realize realize exactly. I don't want to say that your religion is that, but all the things are adding up to be that. And I don't think you know that this is what's going on because this is your entire life. And I'm not about to blow your spot up, you know? I'm not about to tell you that that's what you in because I don't think that that's going to get you out of it. You like 23 years strong in this joint. So me telling you that that's what you in, you gonna stay though. Your mother in it. And you don't have no other family. It's just the church and your mom that is also not your mom. So I'm just like, I don't know, buddy. I don't know. And so I kind of tried to tell him that he might be in a CULT, but he didn't like that. And he wasn't like rude or aggressive with me in any type of way, but I'm scared of people like that. So I was just like, I might not be the most religious person, but what I'm not going to do is continue talking to somebody that's in one of those, because you could just decide to off me at any point in time. Anybody could, to be honest, but you just seem more likely. You, buddy, you seem more likely. Because what do you mean? Y'all drink what? And y'all be eating what raw? Pig? Y'all eat raw pig? Raw goat? Anything raw that isn't fish is crazy to me. I don't know. But maybe that's just me. I just don't, I don't even eat beef tartare. Like, I'm real, let's cook this, let's put this on a grill. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. Thank you for having me. It was very nice. You're a very beautiful man. I hope you get out of this little religion that you are in. But that's not really a religion. I mean, it could be. Everybody's definition of religion is different, you know, maybe. I don't got nothing else, y'all. Cause like I did was like, you a victim. Like, you started at birth a victim. But I'm just like, it's not for me to determine or to decide or to say. Like, everybody's rituals is different. But I'ma say that I don't think anybody should be just drinking blood every Friday and eating raw meat every Friday and saying little seances around a lady that's infertile in the dark with some candles and a goat that's dead that y'all sacrificed. Because he didn't say they sacrificed the goat. They sacrificed the goat. And then there was a pregnant lady 3 days later. I believe that the lady was already pregnant and everything before they even did that. And she just so happened to find out and they just said da-da-da-da, whatever, whatever. But that does not matter. I don't care about that. My point is, you a seance, baby. And I'm just like, you ain't never getting out of this. And so I felt bad, but I was just like, I can't be the one to help you. Because I'm going to be the one in the dirt. It's going to be me. They're going to be like, she's taking you away from the house of the Lord. Their Lord, though. And I just want everybody to be safe. I'm like, if nobody is passing away, do your seance. If you want to do your seance, do it. If everybody is safe, okay. But this is insane. So, you know, moral of the story. Our good old moral of the story. You know, ask the good questions. You know, even if you feel like maybe this isn't the question to ask so early on. Maybe you should just go ahead and ask it. Because you might be wasting your time or somebody else's time. Because religion matters. Especially if it's a cult. So, if it's giving culty vibes, if you're not down with that, you gotta dip, okay? And that's from me. I'm telling y'all, get out of there. Don't become a victim, okay? So, for me, Storytime Tish Tea is over. Peace and love.